And just like that, we are back in the saddle.
I didn't know we left.
I don't know. Sometimes we have to check if our microphone is working.
There's Cindy, Ann, Jessica, somebody give us some thumbs up if you can hear us.
Right down the road. So that's there. That's a mute. And we should be good.
Nobody's telling us. Hello.
Mentally.
Hello.
Mentally, are we okay? The microphone thing's working. Give me a thumbs up. That should be the thumbnail.
Thank you, Rhonda.
You are great. Heidi ho, neighbor. This is our
30th live.
Is it really?
Yep.
Said it's our 30th live.
Yes.
That is impressive. If you think about it, 30 lives.
They're still coming.
I know. We haven't scared you away with everything. They're all popping on. 79 people are joining us, and it's only been a minute.
Just here to hang out.
We got the thumbs up are going.
Hey there.
This is so funny. And then Sheila's getting everything checked in. I feel like I'm really kind of out of sorts when it comes to a live. But here we go. As we all do. Okay, so just before we do that, I get kind of excited. Let me turn my phone to mute. So the thing is, we have almost 10. Let this sink in a little bit. 10,000 new wonderful people that have subscribed and part of the Switch group. So our family grew. Big family.
I'm wondering why you put that in your mouth right before a live.
I don't. Sheila says I have ADHD. And I wanted a piece of candy. And it probably was not a smart decision on my end to put a fireball in. But I need you to understand. The GARs have not come to a huddle, the last huddle.
That's from
I know, this is from my daughter.
Uh-huh.
So without Jessica, I didn't have anything left in my snack bucket. So I'm resorting to eating all of these fireballs. But that's okay. We're good. All right. Not a good choice. Welcome. We are going to do the ground.
Spikers. Thank you. He agrees. My Canadian friend says you do have ADHD. And he could be a doctor for all we know.
With a name like Spikers.
I still don't know his first name.
Anyway, I don't have ADHD.
Okay.
This is a hot one. Anyway, you were
getting ready to tell them the ground rules.
Yeah, I need to turn the AC up a little bit. Ground rules.
Sorry, people. Just hang in. Just hang in there. Hang in with us.
We're turning that.
Yes, Ken and Carly agrees. And Ken is old and wise.
I don't have ADHD.
Okay, anyway, just tell them what we're doing.
Ground rules. For all the new people that are coming on, so thank you. Here are the ground rules. We do a live, we're doing it once a month.
Every other month. I'm here to keep things on straight.
Yeah, every other month. Sorry. But if we have big announcements next month, we might have to do one next month. We'll see. Okay, I'm jumping ahead.
But he doesn't have any problems.
There's just a lot. There's a lot in here.
Okay, ground rules. Tell them.
Ground rules. We do our lives and we try to keep them to 1 hour. And I've already eaten up 4 minutes and 13 seconds of your time.
Saying nothing.
Yes, and isn't that irritating? That is so irritating that we've wasted that much time. But the fact is, we try not to look over here at all the comments.
Try to look right there. Say hi.
So Megan, who is on the backside, and she's the one helping. She does everything for us. They're amazing. And she's generally just typing away. So if you put a comment or a question, I shouldn't have put this in my mouth. And you would like to have that answered, type it in. Megan will catch it. It goes to a magic spreadsheet that Sheila has on her other computer. And then we catch it over here so we can come back to it. That way I don't get sidetracked. So, and that goes with everything, stickers and all the chat things and stuff. We do that. And then when an hour is done, we try to wrap it up. How do I do? I feel like I'm really out of like.
Well, we just want to welcome all
this thing's just really hot.
We want to welcome all you new people.
Pardon me. I've got to get rid of this thing. It's this hot. Oh. That was the hottest fireball I've had. I don't know how many in there. And that thing was lighting me on fire. Look at my mouth's all red. All right. We're good now. We're good.
Great. Okay. We are
family.
Stop it. We're saying thank you and hello to all you new people. Thanks for joining us on this wonderful
what is it?
June. It's hot. We came up to the we swung by the Virginia crew camp out, which was fantastic because crew camp outs are just kind of smaller. We were able to hang out with some people. But dang, we need to keep going north because
it's starting to get hot.
It is hot here and muggy. Very hot. So.
And we took naps today because we needed a nap apparently. So that was nice.
It's part of getting old.
My hair is not really recuperated from the nap time. We're like opposite in this. So like I'm having a hard time because left is right and right is left in the, it's like a reverse mirror in this thing. So it's really messing with me. It's like I'm totally off.
We've had a couple, if you watched last week's video, we had a little couple of oopses. Todd turned left when he should have turned right.
Yes.
But you managed. You got through there. You went through the parking lot.
There was what I didn't show in that video, and if they're now watching, they're now subscribers, and I apologize if I don't know your name. I was in such, I know in the video, all I had was my cell phone, and I was trying to capture it and trying to be in the moment and trying to figure it out. And Sheila was like, do I need to come back? What I did not capture is the little God winks that happen. And when I get in those stressed out moments, this little car comes tootling up, wonderful couple. And they're like, wow, this thing's really big. What are you doing here? You shouldn't, this seems like a wrong turn. And had this lovely chat. And oh, wow, this thing's really big. What are you doing here? You shouldn't, this seems like a wrong turn. And had this lovely chat. And I was, sharing with them everything. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how I'm going to get out of here. And I was thinking I was going to have to ask them to maybe block traffic for me so I could try to back out and then make a semi U-turn. And then he was like, oh, no, we live here. So here's what you can do. And it's like, even in the penny journey, if you watch that whole thing, when somebody says, oh, no, this is what you're going to do at the exact time, like they didn't have to stop. They didn't have to tell me. I was like, oh, thank you. When they drove away, I just felt so much better that I could make the turn and go in front of so that was like a saving little grace in that moment. It really was. It didn't show really well in there, and I was trying to think through everything that was happening and just try to be in the moment and share. So yeah, that was good. So I've probably had a couple close calls for me, just adjusting to driving.
Yeah,
I've gotten better.
Well, and we had our most frustrating. So from that, and we didn't capture it because we had our most frustrating time in the new setup. Probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, we were coming up to West Virginia which, by the way, is our last state of the 49 continental United States. We've checked off all 49 now because we hit West Virginia, but we were going to a state park.
Yes.
And the state park says that the site was long enough.
Mm-hmm.
And you can zoom in and you can do all the Google Earthing and you think, oh yeah, it looks like we're going to be fine. What you don't see in a Google Earth is
the topography
ditches.
And
it looks like you have room to kind of go out in the grass, but not if the grass does this straight down. And we didn't have cell signal and our radios weren't working and it was rough.
It was a rough travel day.
That was a rough travel day.
Prior to the whole, there's always a person in the state park taking reservations. He was getting ready to leave for the day. We were right at the end, and he was able to look at another state park, understand what we were telling him, move the reservation so we didn't lose money. And
there was 2 sites left, and one site, they were both long enough, but one was wider, so we took that one.
Yes.
And we just had to go another 15 minutes down the road, and we got into a state park there.
Yes.
And that was much easier to turn and navigate through. So that's going to be a new normal, I think, for us, just kind of trying to figure out, some. You'll
see that state park in next Sunday's video.
Yes, so. But not the frustrated, oh my gosh, we can't fit here.
I think sometimes the challenge is you want to share everything when you do videos, but quite honestly, you don't always. I know it seems counterintuitive. Well, I mean, it's probably not, because not everyone shoots videos, but we don't always think to pick up a camera.
Especially when we're so frustrated and we don't know what we're going to do. I was sitting in the truck looking for all kinds of RV parks around us. Like, where can we go? And West Virginia isn't the greatest for cell signal. So no. It was just kind of the way. That was probably one of our most challenging travel days yet. But
it worked out great,
all that to say, we did fit into a state park.
Yes. Cross that off the list. Check.
Now I've been looking at a harvest host coming up, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if you can make this turn. So we need to do some looking at that.
And I think now I'm over 6,000 miles in the driver's seat.
That's good.
Yeah. So I really am starting to settle in, and I understand. I think after a while, in the beginning, I was so nervous to be in the big truck that you're kind of like looking, and now it is so comfortable. And I know it sounds so counterintuitive to be so big, but to drive down the highway and to do all the things we're doing, even though as we're big as we are, travel days are so much better. But to drive down the highway and to do all the things we're doing, even though as we're big as we are, travel days are so much better. Travel days are so much better. And until you get to the RV park, and then you've got about a 30 to 40 minute window of like, okay, what are we doing?
Yeah, it is. And I don't know. I just feel like you're in a much safer situation. And people still ask, like, Sheila, you're driving. How's that going?
We're actually okay. We're enjoying our time.
It's going really well. And I was telling somebody the other day, it gives me time to be very intentional. Like, I will call my mom and have a really good, long conversation, just checking in with my mom, and I'm not in a hurry.
I talked to Dad.
It just helps.
I talked to Dad for over an hour.
Yeah.
As I was driving.
Just helps us keep, those conversations, gives us drive time to have those conversations. So I think it's great. It's working out well for us.
We have slowed down our pace. Like, if you watched year 1, we were going every 2 days, 3 days.
Well, because somebody wanted to do videos every 3 a week.
And we were trying. And then year 2, we slowed down just maybe an extra day. And then year 3, we spaced it out and added another day. Now it's like we're in a place for maybe 6 to 7 days.
Yeah.
Which I know it sounds like, I told somebody that here in the park, and they're like, wow, you guys are moving a lot. And I'm like, brother, you have no clue. Yeah. So it's like 7 days. Sometimes it's like, okay, I think I'm almost ready.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily need to move like a long ways. I know it sounds weird, but if you just go like 2 hours, it opens up a whole, now you're a little bit closer to like a place that you thought you'd like to go to, but was just a little out far, you know. So even 2 hours is actually kind of a nice break, because now we're seeing like West Virginia. We've been kind of like, we saw a lot of things in West Virginia.
Yeah, there's just so much to see. People are like, oh, you've already been to that state. Yep. But you go to another corner and there's just other things to see. And so we're headed up. And I was doing some research today on some stuff that we're going to do in Delaware. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we're going to have to come back here because we're not going to be able to hit that and that. We're not going to be able to do it all.
Yes.
So it's good. So that's kind of, and then the next thing after that, coming out in about, 3 weeks or so, a video where Todd took me on a hike and I wanted to hurt him because he loved it and I was ready to be done. So there you go. All you people that have been on Sheila hikes before, Todd actually has a hike level above me.
It was epic.
Ugh, it was horrible.
It will be the only time when you watch this video. We were on the side of cliffs and rope bridges, and it was unbelievable. Like, it was 4.5 hours of pure exhaustion that Sheila, I thought, wasn't going to make it through.
I didn't think I was going to make it.
And because my legs were longer and she was struggling, but it was a once in a lifetime. And so I'm just going to turn that into just a whole video because it is absolutely incredible. And it was in West Virginia, the
Nelson, it's Nelson Rocks. It's a Via Ferrata. So I would say it's like doing Angel's Landing times 2.
Yeah, there was times on the side of you just hanging on, and I was hanging almost backwards going up the rocks. And my arms were shaking, that when I finally got down, I even said, I think I just overdid it. I don't know how we're going to get out. Like, it was intense.
I am black and blue. My legs are black and blue just from hitting the rocks, and oh my gosh. But we can't wait to share it with you. But fun. For all of you that are like, oh, Sheila hikes are the worst. No, they're not. Todd's got a hike level in him that
I wanted that so badly.
How'd your knee do?
My knee actually is, I'd say 70%, but going up, like, it doesn't hurt. The problem is like
we had to coming
down in that constant downward walk for I don't know how long. I ended up having to turn around and walk backwards for a good majority towards the end, and every muscle hurt from my rear to my calves, and every muscle hurt from my rear to my calves to my arms to my. It was absolute. We were so wiped out that literally the next day we didn't really even move. We just kind of laid around. I was like, that was intense.
Yeah, I had some Advil that day.
So if you don't like heights, you might, when you watch that video, you might not like that video because it's something. A lot of fun.
Yes.
We're very blessed to be able to do that.
I see a new name, some new names over here. Brad Gibbons is he's been a long distance trucker for 36 years. And
Congrats, man. Much respect.
Absolutely. You know what I've noticed? People do not pay attention to how far they just pull right in front of you. I'm like, dude, you can't stop on a dime. I can't imagine how that goes for truckers all the time.
And it's not just truckers. Like, if you drive your RV and you're pulling,
you're pulling that weight.
You understand that a lot of people just don't give any consideration. Well, then that's magnified times 10 when you're in a bigger scenario. So much respect to I have so much respect. I even did a TikTok thanking truckers in that because it was like, golly, I've learned a lot. So yeah, good stuff.
Yep. But we appreciate you being willing to help answer any questions for us. But right now, if you guys have questions that you want to ask, and we're in your living room, you're in ours, and we just have this time where we can just chat and answer any questions that you might have. This is your time to just throw that. So we'll look at those.
And then we'll go over some fun and exciting.
Kimberly Hedrick asked, how was Williamsburg?
We like Williamsburg. We've been here before.
We have been here before. We did not go to Colonial Williamsburg because we have done that before. And we were going to go into Yorktown, but right now it is blazing hot. So we're just
we kind of feel like we're behind a little bit.
We are.
Because we took so much time to go and do things that it was like one of those deals where, like, I know it seems like we're just always like going a lot. I mean, editing videos, doing the community stuff. Sheila is always trying to figure out all of the back end things to keep everybody together, and conference calls and talking to sponsors, of course. There's all of the Zooms.
It is a full-fledged business. I mean, it is.
It is.
And so we are constantly, but we do feel behind. And there's just to-do lists. You know, you guys know when you go places, you have to travel. You have to figure out your travel plans, where you're staying, where you're stopping along the way. And for us, then I've got to look and see, okay, what is it that in this area that we're going to go see and go do, and put that in a content calendar so that we can shoot content. Because I know not all of you, well, majority of you are not going to do the hike from hell that Todd took me on. So we want to, you know, put that in the content calendar so we can bring you along with us.
Yes, definitely. No.
And so there's just all that on the backside. But yes,
we're very blessed. Though.
We are. It is.
Because we get to do this. And I know it seems like maybe because you see the RV, like all of this seems, but remember, this is just stuff, right? So we have specific time frames of things. So we don't know how long we can maintain this because of sponsors and stuff. So we just take every day and just enjoy it. Enjoy the moment. And we'll just see what happens by, say, February of this next year. And who knows? We just continue to keep going, and it is blind faith. I know from the outside looking in, you're there. If you knew, like, it is blind faith. Only like 3, 4, 5 months out, and then you're like, okay, we're never given any more than that. It's like I wish I could say we have 2 years, you know, hopefully planned out and taken care of, but it's not that way.
Nope. It's just enough to just keep us going. That's exactly what it is. Speaking of that, want to do a shout out to Day One for that sticker.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We just really appreciate your support on that. Ron Vandermolen, I think he just had surgery. Hope you're doing good. I think that was correct that you did. But he's asked if anything has malfunctioned yet. Absolutely.
Yes. But some things are getting tweaked out too. Like the Garmin system, when we first got it, they were trying to work out through some of the bugs. Now the cool part is we just did a little update, so I'm able to operate things on my phone, which is kind of cool. And then they have other things that are coming that are going to be updates. So with something, then, because we were at the very end and we were like, we have to get back on the road. And so we're missing 2 awnings still that they still have to put on. But that we knew we were going to have to go back later in the fall. And we just knew you're going to have a shakedown trip. Our shakedown trip's just a few months. That's all versus a couple weeks.
Right. Elizabeth, I see that you're asking about the Watkins Glen trail that got damaged. We did. We were checking that out today, and actually it is open. So we are in good shape for the huddle.
It was actually only closed a day, apparently, after we did some research. So that's good because it is so beautiful. Now let's talk about the Watkins Glen, like the New York huddle. Are you ready?
Yeah, I was going to finish answering Ron's question, but we can.
No, finish because I'll get
things that have malfunctioned. Though we have had, we have an area that right there.
What?
We have an area that we have a little bit of water leak.
Oh.
We're just trying to figure out, we got to chase that down, like where that's coming from. This slide is so giant.
I think we messed up and we were so what happened was we were uneven And the slide, when the
Yeah.
water, since we were uneven, this slide, we had a ton of deluge of rain. And instead of going off the slide in this way, it ran back. And then it kind of sucked back under. And that was user error, not necessarily spacecraft's issue, but it was because our jack sunk, which then caused it. It's a big story, but it's our fault. But we are trying to get that adjusted. And then there's a lot of little things. Nothing that's detrimental.
Oh no, not, you know, and you all know that. I mean, we know that Todd has issues as far as like his denial of ADHD and his squirreling, but we also know that I have issues with things being clean, which, by the way, means when you take the doors off the Bronco and you go running on the beach and the sand goes everywhere, I'm still dealing with that.
Well, that means vacuuming and vacuuming and vacuuming.
Yes, that's hard.
And then that sand comes into the RV, so we have to be sure to take our shoes off.
Duh.
Yes. So.
But now I forgot what I was trying to tell them.
I'm sorry, you were talking about things that kind of got off kilter.
Yeah, just little things that spacecraft knows about them, and we're going to be there in September. Yeah. So they're going.
We just made a list.
Yep, made a list. They just told us to make a list. So, all right, let's look at the next questions. Kathy, how is Switch Pops doing, and Sheila's mom?
Oh,
you just talked to your dad the other day. How's he doing?
Dad is doing great. He is not traveling at the moment, so he's just kind of chilling. He's doing fishing, and he's going to see friends and relatives and stuff. So he's just been kind of hanging out. I don't think he's on here. I didn't see him pop up. But yeah, no, he's good. He's good.
And my mom, she is just adjusting to retirement, right? Like that's a whole new thing when she's been working since she was a teenager. So she just adjusting.
She's reading a lot of books.
She likes to read. And so she just adjusting to that. And she still has her mom. My grandma is 93, I think, 93. She's got dementia really bad. And so my mom still has, she's in that hard space of having to take care of her mom and watch that whole trajectory of life and then try to keep up with what we're doing. But she's doing good. Just, that's just a hard space to be in life when you've got a failing parent. And, my mom's not a spring chicken herself.
Don't tell her that.
Oh, I think she knows.
You think she's watching?
I don't know. She probably is, but she's not going to say anything here. She'll tell me about it on the phone. Okay. David asks, how's the RV holding up? We're doing good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing great. And then,
I mean, that's a glossed over answer because honestly, I think here's the adjustment we have. The biggest adjustment is something like this becomes, I know it's going to sound weird, but you understand this. If you bought an RV and it's a really big RV and you take time and you get adjusted to it, and then pretty soon it becomes normal to you. This is no different. So 9 weeks or whatever we've been out, if not longer. My process when I walk outside is I already know it's 54 feet, but I don't know, hundreds of people that are in an RV park, they've never seen a 54-foot long RV. And so it is a weird adjustment because even though it's like a normal for us to walk outside and get in the Bronco and go do something, usually there's somebody standing outside taking a picture, or I'd love to know where all these pictures and videos are going that people are taking. Because if we don't have the wall on, it doesn't say anything about switch it up. So there could be pictures. It would be interesting for you guys to say, saw a picture, and just on some platform somewhere. But it's interesting to get used to everyone else paying attention and asking questions.
Yeah, it's becoming normal for us.
In a weird way.
Yeah. And we, every day, even when I laid down to take a nap today, I was like, it's so nice to be able to have a couch large enough that I can lay on to take a nap. Like every day, I'm just thankful. We are just blessed and taking thankful
it for granted
every day. Okay, let me. I can answer this one quickly.
Yeah.
Andrea True Love, what did you all pay for insurance on the HDT? Our HDT and the rig, I believe, is bundled into one.
Yes.
And that.
So there's a plus and a minus here. So we got to put this in context. When we got the RV, I'm going to try to shorten this answer as best I can. If you watch the, oh no, I didn't even say it in the documentary. Right at the very end, we weren't sure if we were going to be able to pull everything together because we weren't sure we're going to get insurance on the travel trailer. This is technically a travel trailer. It is a 54-foot long travel trailer.
It's a long travel trailer.
But it is a travel trailer. Here's what happens is all of your insurances are going to go back to Progressive. Almost all of them. State Farm is another great place to find insurance for your HDT. So right towards the end, we realized that there are limits, and the limits for travel trailers and from stuff from Progressive is $300,000 cap. Well, we're over that. And so the unfortunate part was we were like, where we're going to get insurance. And we were able to find, now if anyone is looking for another option, we do have a connection that we can be happy to send.
Yep.
But we ended up taking the HDT, and at the very last moment, another God wink, it got converted over to an RV by the time I put the added stuff in that was required by the state of Kansas. It then got transferred to an RV. Then the RV truck, or they call it a toter home with a hitch, is towing a travel trailer to meet all of the limits that need to happen. Now, insurance in general I think it was like $200 a month for the HDT because we're running way high limits because your boy Todd has anxiety issues. And so you'll need to check on what you want to do. But it is all run through, believe it or not, auto owners. This is your biggest tip. I wanted to do a video on this, but I don't have all the ins and outs. But
guess we need to get those.
Candy,
and make that a.
We could refer you to Candy, and Candy is fabulous. Like, she is an independent, and she went out and did research and came back, and she solved it.
So we can definitely, if you guys are interested in that, we can help you get that information. But
before that, it was run through
Progressive.
The truck was.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Greg, New York Cuddle. There's been a couple of little hiccups. So as always, the dang give back is the hardest, but we are still working on it. And as soon as we have all the things I's dotted and T's crossed, we will put that in the New York Huddle Facebook page. Speaking of New York Huddle, we've had a couple of cancellations. In fact, I need to tell Megan there's one that we need to get processed. There's just been some health issues with somebody that
surgeries.
So we have a couple of cancellations. So if anybody's still interested in coming in and joining us at the New York
2
Huddle,
days. You got only 2
till
days.
Tuesday, you can call the park, make sure that they have room for you. But with a couple of cancellations, I'm pretty sure that they will. And then go ahead and call the park, make sure they have space, and then get your New York tickets. We'd love to have you join us.
We have to close that down because we have to submit everything to the caterers.
Yep.
So that's why it's done that way.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Hold on.
Oh, she's reading.
Why don't you answer Brad's question about, have you thought about visiting Alaska? We are visiting Alaska via boat. We've been there once by boat, once by plane, us, and then we're doing a crew cruise to Alaska last I knew there were 7 cabins left available on that, but I don't think we'll drive there.
We will never drive there. If you
never's a big word.
No, not really. I've watched way too many videos. I've studied way too much stuff. Originally, believe it or not, we talked about going with Les Sticks No Bricks and some other, because they came from Alaska. So Jason and Jen they were thinking about leading a group up in like a caravan scenario. But the more I studied and the more I thought through and how much time it takes and all the things that break.
Like this 4 to 6 month endeavor, isn't it?
It's I know it's at least 3 minimum.
Yeah.
So it's it is beautiful. You get to see more. We're more apt to think if we're going to do something that's a little more in depth to fly up and rent something and then drive around.
And then drive around. Yep. But there's some things I want to see in Canada. Like there's
we are over the 50.
Bikers, you're gonna come pick us up at the border.
We've learned that to do that, there's a slew of things that come into effect.
I might have to rent something up there.
So
I don't know.
we've talked about making an adjustment or seeing how we could do that.
Maybe we do overlanding for a little bit in the Bronco in Canada.
That would be